The following is a production of cprundown.com. The views and opinions expressed by the hosts of this podcast are those of the individual and not of any affiliated companies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast covering the Six Flags Entertainment Corporation, the amusement industry, and everything to do with fun. Here are your hosts, Carsten Anderson, Evan Schultz, and Kyle Hu.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Clearly, I am not Kyle. we're already, the second episode of the season. We're already losing people, but that's because Kyle is snowed in Florida.
Yeah, it decided to snow randomly. It was like, oh, hey, by the way, Ohio, yeah, it's not going to snow. It's just going to be like, I don't know,
super cold.
Antarctica or North Pole temperatures, and it's like -0 or negative like 4 or 5 degrees, just normal, and the wind chill's like negative like 30 degrees. So it's like, what?
Yeah, it's been bad. But Kyle, I don't think he actually got any snow in Orlando, but he's busy.
I heard there was wet snow last night. I heard it was like 30 some degrees or whatever last night, and I feel so bad for the people down there because it's cold.
I was thinking yesterday, I'm like, man, it's not out of the realm of possibility to take a trip down there at this time of year, us Ohioans, and it's just like, oh my God, I went to Florida and it was no different. The weather was no different.
My gosh, yeah, right. You're like, oh, I got to see the palm tree and some snow and freezing my butt off.
But like in the Panhandle, they got 10 inches of snow.
Right.
Louisiana, in New Orleans. Like
I saw people skating on like I think Bourbon Street or something in New Orleans or whatever, and I'm just like, oh my God, crazy. Anyway,
so we're gonna totally break format because Carsten has Top Thrill 2 and Siren's Curse updates, but that's going to be the middle of the show.
Yeah, so stay tuned. You're not
because that came from his No Coaster Con trip up to Chicago.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that all kind of at once. So first, we are going to talk about really quickly. Winter Chill Out tickets went on sale.
They
are no longer on sale.
They were on sale and they're no longer on sale. So hopefully you grabbed a ticket. I was fortunate enough to actually, literally at 10 in the morning, I logged on, and I think Justin also logged on too, and his computer completely crashed. He's like, oh no. And then he got stuck in like a virtual line, which I was like, okay, at least they're adapting that. That's something newer. But I got right in. I got the 8 a.m. time slot, the first one. Evan taught me well to get the one early, so make sure you definitely follow the page and tell your friends and everything, because we will definitely be posting photos as first in line. Yep. But
did Justin get a ticket?
He did get a ticket, yeah. And also, with a fun story is it's my birthday that day, so anybody that is listening to the pod and everything, feel free to come up and say happy birthday or anything, and maybe we can take
Carson's gonna be lonely without me.
Yeah, right. It's gonna be a little different. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna.
I'm gonna be asleep. You'll be getting home from Chill Out, and I'm gonna be still asleep.
Yeah. That's fair. And it's like, I'm like, well, I guess I don't have to really buy merchandise because all the buttons will everything, and I'll be like, what about Evan? Do you need all these buttons? And you're like, nah, I'll get them. So But yeah, so I'm super excited about the Winter Chill Out event. We've talked about it, I believe, last year and what it is and stuff and everything. And, it's, yeah.
We talked about last year, but yes, last week is what you meant.
Yeah. And, it definitely goes to, to raise money for a kid again and for a really good cause. And you get some food and a ton of behind the scenes, like pictures and different opportunities to see different things that you might never be able to see.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and especially when there's a new coaster being built, a completely new coaster. I mean, even seeing Top Thrill 2 was cool last year, but
right,
we had already kind of seen it because half the spike was built on closing day in 2023. So Siren's Curse being completely new and crazy, and that's always fun. I remember specifically seeing Valraven for the first time and just jaw dropping.
Well, that, and they also had the train that you could literally sit on.
Yeah, you make it a Siren's Curse train.
Maybe. The park has been kind of quiet on that, and they haven't really shown a lot. So maybe, I don't know.
I do want to shout out the park though, because every year, Winter Chill Out is a pain with ticketing, Everybody complains. The lottery sucked. This sucked. That sucked. Doing whatever they did this year with the waiting room thing seemed to alleviate everything.
Yeah.
I didn't see any complaining this year. So,
The
Tony,
only
your IT team, keep doing what you're doing.
the only complaining I think I saw was like people just being like, "Oh my gosh, there's like 1,000 people in line." It's like, what?
just for chuckles, I got it because I wasn't gonna buy a ticket, but I wanted to see it. They went on sale like
10 in the morning.
like 11. I logged on. I'm like, I wonder if they sold out yet. Go nowhere and chill out. I hit buy now, and it's like, you were in a virtual queue. I'm like, oh, okay. And you are like 1037th in line. I'm like, oh. Oh. And it said like my estimated wait was like an hour or whatever. But and then I went back around like noon or 12:30, and it just said sold out. And I didn't. It was quiet on social media. People got their tickets if they wanted them.
Right.
They didn't get them if they didn't want them.
And they didn't sell like. They sold out, but they didn't like. I don't know if it's because of the queuing system or if people are just kind of like maybe the price might be a little too high. But then that's good though, because I think that if the price is too high, I honestly don't think the price is too high. I think that what you get, and also it's also going to charity, but you also get like a free meal out of it.
They gotta find that middle ground of a price that kind of prices some people out to lower demand, but then also doesn't sacrifice how much they're giving to charity.
Yeah.
It makes it more worth their while too.
Or maybe they just have a lot more people that are, coming and things like that.
Or maybe they upped the capacity. I don't know. But whatever they did it right. It was really nice to see a ticket drop go completely smooth.
Flawless. Yeah, for sure. So
anyway, the attention turns to Kings Island for tickets.
I was going to say that, the Kings Island, we didn't talk about this at all last week.
Completely forgot.
Right. Yeah. We were just talking about so much. It was like an hour and a half. But the Kings Island, a few weeks ago, I think they announced the return of Coasterstock.
Yes, they did.
I guess you can say it's equivalent to like Coaster Mania, but it's like a 2-day event, and
Coaster Mania on steroids.
Yes, yeah. So if you like to ride a lot, we've done this in years past with Don. No, Don's no longer at the park anymore, so we'll see what Kings Island we'll see if it has the same bar or if it's a little less. We don't know what time or what day tickets are going to be going on sale. I believe February or something.
I'm trying to find the actual info. Here we go.
Okay.
Because you were right. Tickets will go on sale in February, is what they say. I'll just read their little thing.
Yeah,
it's not that long. Attention Coaster Club members, mark your calendars for Coasterstock at Kings Island, May 30th and 31st, 2025. Which that's a Friday and a Saturday. Of note, that is later in the season than they typically do it. They usually do it the weekend before Memorial Day. This year, that weekend is vacant. Then Memorial Day happens, and then Coasterstock happens, and it's also the same weekend as Hollywood Nights. So if you bought Hollywood Nights tickets, do not buy Coasterstock tickets.
I also heard through the grapevine that I believe the reason they chose that date and not their normal specific date is because there's an actual event that's happening, and they're not trying to. I think there's like some kind of big ACE event. I don't remember when. But
the weekend that Coasterstock typically would happen is the same weekend as Spring Conference, which is taking place at Kings Dominion and Busch Gardens, Williamsburg.
Right.
So they decided to kind of screw over their friends 3 hours to the west at Holiday World.
To be fair, I mean, their tickets are already sold out. So if you have tickets to Hollywood Nights, then you're obviously going there. But if you're like, well, that weekend's free and I have that time off of work, what am I going to do? So then Kings Island's like, oh, hey, we've got our turn, another event. So it'll be next year. Hopefully, it'll return. So it's worth mentioning that weekend their water park will be open, which typically it is not during Coasterstock, and they have a brand spanking new water coaster to ride. Yeah, so might there be some ERT on the new water coaster. I don't know, but something to think about. Anyways.
This exciting event includes exclusive ride time on popular attractions, both in the morning and at night, behind-the-scenes tours, engaging speakers, Q&A sessions with park officials, fun contests, delicious catered meals, fun Pix photo opportunities, and unlimited soft drinks. Tickets will go on sale in February. The upcoming on-sale date will be announced on the Kings Island blog. All participants at Coasterstock must purchase a Coasterstock ticket and be an active member of one of the eligible clubs and organizations listed below. An active membership card is required upon entry. Those clubs are American Coaster Enthusiasts, Coaster Crew, European Coaster Club, Florida Coaster Club, Great Ohio Coaster Club, Melanin Coaster Network, Roller Coaster Club of Great Britain, and Western New York Coaster Club. So that's all the information. There's no ticket pricing. There's no actual on sale date. There's no itinerary yet, but it's always Friday morning, Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night, full of ERT. You get at least 2 meals. A bunch of behind the scenes opportunities.
Tons.
Always a ton of fun. Always a ton of fun.
Yeah, no, it's really fun.
I believe at that point in the year, because they did announce their hours as well, which Kings Island opened.
Oh, is that going to be possibly for like their nighttime show with the drones and stuff?
That's where I was going. So Kings Island opens for the year on April 19th, April 18th for pass holders. But then Coasterstock takes place May 30th and May 31st. The park's hours are 10 to 10. So that means Kings Island's golden rule has always been if they are open till 10 p.m. or later, they do fireworks unless it's Halloween.
So fireworks, and then
we're gonna get fun fireworks, and we're gonna get fun fireworks in 53.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. So I didn't even realize.
That's awesome.
So that's okay. Okay, that'll be
awesome.
That'll be nice. That'll make for a really late night. Like in the parks though, for sure. Because
Beast will be.
Because I know you and I
held up until like 11.
I know you and I are kind of dabbling of like maybe we'll go, maybe we're not. It just depends on like.
It depends on pricing. Like full disclosure, last year they did spring conference there through Ace, and the tickets were just too expensive, man. Like they were like $160. Something like that, and I'm just like,
I wonder if maybe
it's like really cheap compared to that. So
I hope maybe it might be like something of like maybe Ace had to pay for ERT or something.
Yeah,
or some. I mean, I don't know. We don't know.
It wasn't park sponsored, so Ace had to foot the bill somehow.
Right. Right. Yeah. So I mean, they're non. What is it? They're what is it? Oh my goodness. What is Ace? Ace is a organization that doesn't like actually have like appointed or people that are paid. I can't remember what the word's called, but
nonprofit.
That's it. Jesus, thanks for making me explain it all. Yes. At least I believe so. I could be wrong. Anyway,
whatever.
So gonna be a fun event.
Speaking of Ace,
yeah,
you were at their big.
Okay,
you weren't at CoasterCon. You weren't at CoasterCon. You were at
CoasterCon. That is correct. Yeah. So this is Ace's big event that they have every single year. It's in Chicago, literally like 3 minutes away from O'Hare Airport. So if anyone's ever thinking about doing it, literally you can fly in there, get an Uber for like $4 or $5, go to the event, and then fly back.
Home the same day. Why do you know that? How do you know that?
Yeah. So I went a little behind the scenes. I literally got a flight Saturday morning at like 6 a.m. Was my flight. I flew over there. So obviously it was like an hour and 45-minute flight, but luckily it's in Chicago time. So Central. So I got an hour back. So really it was like 6:45-ish or so, almost 7 o'clock when I landed. So the event started at like 8:30. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm chilling. So the event was literally from 8:30 in the morning until I think 5:30 or almost 6 p.m. Central time. So I was already like, because there's a lot. There's so many parks that come in. There's representatives from like Dino's Wonder Wheel. He's really cool. He's so down to earth and so funny and everything.
Yeah, I do like him.
There's also obviously Cedar Point was there. Kings Island was represented by Tony Clark. And then also they had, obviously Six Flags Great America, because that's in Chicago, and just a ton of
City, Dollywood.
Oh yeah. So, which is really cool. So yeah, it goes to 6:00, and then literally I went to the airport, or I got some canes, went to the airport, waited for like an hour or so, and then got on my flight and got home like at 11:55 p.m. that same day. So
You were just a businessman that day.
it
That's what it
it
was.
really honestly felt like I've done like day trips and stuff, but never really sitting in a room and not really doing anything. So I literally felt like when I woke up, or I'm sorry, not when I woke up, but like when I got home and stuff, I was like, dude, I feel like I literally got 2 Saturdays in one. Because after I got home from the event and whatever, it was still Saturday night, so I didn't go to bed till like 3 or 4 o'clock. So I was like, dude, this is bonus. And then obviously I slept most of the day on Sunday to just recuperate and whatever and get acclimated back in the world. But anyway, long story short, Tony was there.
That's the long story short.
Yeah, right. Nuts. Yeah. So we do have some news. So
very good news.
I wasn't actually thinking anything was going to be brought up. I thought maybe at Winter Chill Out that was going to be when they decided to start sharing some information. Tony went through things. We got to see, unfortunately, I can't really describe it per se, but we got to see a front viewing of POV of Siren's Curse. That was really cool.
Animated, of course.
Right. And then also they were talking about, other things in the park and how things are going to be, go together, and how Siren's Curse is going to have this, that, whatever. Well, then all of a sudden, and he's going through slides and stuff. He flips over to a slide and it says Top Thrill 2. And just kind of went,
oh crap.
Everybody just went, here we go. Sorry if ever, then turn down your microphones just a smidge. I'm going to do a cricket. Yes, I can actually make the sound. But anyway, so literally, and then it was like an elephant in the room, and Tony's like, we're going to talk about this. And we're like, what? He's like, yeah.
What's he going to say? Is it going to be bad?
I know.
Tear it down? They're going to tear it down.
They're going to, it's going bye-bye. No. So yeah, so he said, he was very truthful and says, yeah, Zamperla, had issues with the trains and they were going to do modifications to the trains. And that's the reason why, it was only open for a week or so, in the summer and stuff and everything. And he apologized and, but, he did say, he's like, we do have kind of like a little bit of an update. He said, Zamperla, you might've seen some videos and things of that nature of it actually testing in December. And we were like,
again,
yeah, right. But hey, testing
is almost a year to the day of the original test runs.
Right.
It was like we totally 2024 didn't even happen. We're just completely resetting.
Yeah, right, yeah. So and then he also said that Zamperla's continue to still working on it, and they're working on modifying the trains. Whatever that means, we don't know. He didn't go into it. I think someone at the Q&A
probably doesn't really know.
Right. And he did go in and he did have a Q&A, and someone was like, hey, can you tell us what's going on? He's like, no. So anyway, it could be insurance purposes, whatever. The park doesn't have to tell you anything. The park doesn't want to tell you. Anyway, he did say that they expect to have them back within the next few months. Them, I'm assuming, meant trains, because Zamperla, I'm sure they're dabbling all over the park and stuff, everything like that. So
but it seems like that he meant because the trains are already there as we saw them test on all those videos. So it seems like Zamperla's giving them back to Cedar Point is the inference that I made from what people posted online and what you told me.
Yeah,
it sounds like it's like, okay, Cedar Point, we're done. Here
right.
You go.
Right. And so obviously we're all hoping for the amazing, the best, and everything and everything goes off without a hitch and stuff. But and he was saying within the next few months, and then he also said that and then commissioning's going to start next 2 months. It's January right now, March, April.
Didn't he say something like typical opening commissioning?
Typically opening day stuff.
Just like Corkscrew goes through every year.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. state certified is really what, it just needs to happen and stuff. And he said that the park anticipates that the ride will be ready for opening day. So
you got to clarify opening day 2025.
Okay, opening day 2025. So
the way this thing is gone, they could mean 2028 at this point.
Right. So we'll see. We'll see. All we can do is hope, and hopefully by winter chill out, because that's pretty much a month from now or so. Hopefully, they will have a more of an update, possibly, or be like, hey, yeah, it's like we said last week, the opening. You can go on Cedar Point's event calendar or their event page on their website, and it says opening day, and you click on that, and it says Top Thrill 2. Enjoy top. So.
I'm just saying, you
just got to read the tea leaves, and him actually coming out with a slide and talking about it. I mean, honestly, reading the tea leaves, I feel like that's a good sign. Like if there was nothing and then Q&A was like, oh, hey, any update on Top Thrill 2? Oh, the park's still, he actually made something out of it. So I think this is a good news.
I always tell you, Carsten, and I said this even before we started recording, Cedar Point and Tony specifically, they're always very intentional with everything they say and everything they do. Yep. Tony was not going to get up there and talk about Top Thrill 2 and say he anticipates it to open on opening day if the park wasn't completely expecting that. He wouldn't say that. If there was even a 50-50 chance, he would have just said, we don't have any updates at the time. Sorry. Hey, look at Siren's Curse. That's what would have happened.
And,
sorry, Tony, I got you figured out. But
until you don't.
Right. But that's how the park and the park operates. That's how they've always operated. They are not going to frivolously share information.
Yeah, I mean that kind of makes sense though too, because like if you're not, like for instance, like before the park releases their operating calendar, we're not like, oh yeah, so the park's going to be opening in May 8th, and then they're like, we didn't even announce a date yet, and that's just us like assuming. And the park, they do it for a specific reason, and it's a business, and so they're doing it when it makes business sense. So I think this is good news, and we'll see what happens at Winter Chill Out, and then obviously the months ahead. And if we see it testing and things are progressing, and there you go, So
I also say too, they're not going to blow smoke up our butts. Tony's not going to get up there and be like, "It's going to open. We expect it to be open." Where he's got an earpiece talking to whoever the new GM is going to be. He has an earpiece. No, it's not. It's not going to be open. If they're not going to lie, they're very
intentional.
They're very intentional. That's the best way.
And you know what? If something happens and it doesn't, then obviously we'll get an update. And so
yes,
I think it
is on track to be open.
Yeah,
provided that we don't have another whatever happened on May 10th. Happen again.
Right. So speaking of other news from that event, they did share a lot of information from Siren's Curse. Like I said, I got to see a front-facing animated POV, and I got to see. I guess I could describe like the pacing throughout the elements and everything was like really, really fast, really, really good, really good. They also he also went in depth about the tunnel that the ride's going to have, and
underground tunnel.
Yeah, under the ground tunnel, that 100% under the ground tunnel. He said that the technology is there for Cedar Point to do an under the ground tunnel, obviously because their water table is low. When you start digging super deep, you're going to run into water. So he said that there's going to be a bunch of new technology and stuff. There's obviously going to be, so like if it rains or whatever, it's going to have a bunch of sensors in the tunnel and stuff for like humidity sensors, water sensors, and so on and so forth, to make sure that there's a pump in the tunnel as well, and just in case they need to pump water out. So yeah, I guess
it's probably way more expensive than it should be because of that.
And then he also said that they also did some testing, for that specifically, and he's like, well, in our testing and things like that, they said the water shouldn't be an issue. Like they honestly don't think it'll be an issue and stuff. And I really
just in a sweet spot on the peninsula that they
maybe
have, it's like
Or
right
like I
in the
said,
center, or
they've got they've got the technology and everything now. Maybe now new coasters at Cedar Point will have underground tunnels. Who knows?
too bad that technology didn't exist when Valraven was built.
Yeah, right. That would be a big tunnel too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But anyway, he talked about the trains, and the trains are going to have some LED lighting on it, and it's also going to have supposedly a custom soundtrack. I believe playing the whole entire ride is what I gathered. Don't quote me on it. I could be wrong.
I saw that same thing on Twitter. People posted that same thing. So
okay. So that's cool. It's also going to have it's going to have speakers on it, and so it's going to have obviously the custom soundtrack. It'll be the first coaster at Cedar Point to have speakers on a coaster. The trains are going to be really, really decked out and a bunch of LED lighting and stuff and whatever. So that's going to look really, really cool. They also, it shouldn't come as a shock because they haven't said when they're opening it. And we've talked about it and kind of like gave like our predictions on possibly when it'll open, but it did say, opening in early summer. So
the internet lost their mind over that, and
yeah,
that's old news, right?
Yeah,
that's old news.
And then he said, you'll probably see testing in probably April or maybe even maybe April, but most likely obviously May, because they've got to get it commissioned and get things dialed in and stuff and everything. And yeah, so I'm
saying no. I'm still sticking with Coaster Mania. I think that'd be awesome. But I also think that it'll be no later.
I think Memorial Day weekend, they're going to do like a huge
giant
bash. Speaking of a giant bash,
Memorial Day, that's Epic Universe opening weekend, and so they know that they'll get overshadowed.
Maybe they just don't care.
True.
I mean, they're all the way down there, and we're all the way up here. So,
yeah, theme park world is a ruthless world, though.
Right. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm super excited about it. I do want to just plug something that I just popped into my head, and I apologize, but Kings Island announced their opening day, which is April 18th, 19th.
Pass holders 18th.
Pass holder day is going to be on the 18th, which is really cool. The reason that popped into my head is I'm wondering if we're going to get some kind of maybe pass holder preview for the ride before it opens to the public.
I'm sure. Even like the Legacy Six Flags parks, like I remember, I think it was Max Force that opened on like 4th of July in 2019. Yeah. 2019. But I think they were doing pass holder previews like the whole week leading up. So I can't imagine, like, it's just like an ERT event. Put a sign out front, pass holders only. Sorry.
Right.
I mean, obviously the park is open and operating, but I'm sure they'll do something for us, or maybe, I don't know.
We'll see.
I'm trying. If it opens while the park is still open till 8 during the week, maybe they'll do, hey, from 8 to 10, pass holders.
It was really cool because I know everyone. I'm kind of pissed. I've been pissed. I was like, you can't see the webcams because like you can't really time lapse the construction of it. Well, actually, Tony had in his little bag of tricks. They put I don't know. I think it's on Valraven's brake run. They have a camera that has a time lapse of the construction area that you can see. Oh
god, that'll be fun to see.
You can see everything,
and he showed condensed, so it'll be really cool to.
He showed the time lapse what they have so far, and that was building like the actual tower. And he's like, it went up in like a day and a half or so. Yeah, I was like,
construction's crazy what they can do now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but none of the track I think he showed pictures of track and stuff and everything, but I did not see no track and nothing on the ride specifically with the pictures that I saw. But yeah,
maybe since then it's been a week.
Right. And, well, it's been colder than balls, but really
cold. Yeah.
But yeah, so
I was gonna say too, worst case, the park goes to like full operations, like June 23rd, June 24th is when they're open 10 to 10 every day. I'm sure by then it'll be ready to go. No pun intended.
Yeah, right. And obviously, we've talked about this before, but once the ride does open up or Top Thrill 2 or whatever, I mean, it's a brand new ride. It's going to have its quirks. It's going to have its issues. It's going to have breakdowns and things like that and whatever. So,
yeah. Oh yeah. But it'll be fine because Vekoma kicks ass now.
Yeah, I can't. Hopefully, winter chill out. We
Can't wait.
get to see the trains or something. So, and to make you really FOMO at the mouth.
Dude, I'm getting a credit in the middle of the Caribbean on an alpine coaster. FOMO my ass.
Okay, fine, whatever. Anyway, speaking of, you want to talk a little bit about the Six Flags Great America? They released
Yeah, because
a
they
crap
have
ton of updates for sure.
a ton,
Yeah, voice a break.
Yeah, so obviously being that this No Coaster Con is in Chicago, obviously Six Flags Great America is going to be there. And if you don't follow him already on Twitter, I recommend following him. He works at WGN news station in Chicago. He's a coaster dork just like all of us, but he's always at these events. His name's Marcus Lashak. He's awesome. So full credit. I totally was stalking his page all of No Coaster Con, getting updates.
Yeah, he's great. He's such a coaster nerd too, which is really, really cool.
Awesome to have a coaster nerd in the media,
in
like
a good
in
way,
mainstream
in a
media.
really good way. Like he's so down to earth and so awesome. And
so he posted all the Six Flags Great America updates. So I'm kind of just reading from his Twitter, but not really. So first off, they had Wrath of Rakshasa update, which he posted pictures of, and the thing is basically close to topped off. At the event, they showed you guys a POV of the ride that they did end up posting a couple days later, so I got to see that. It looks insane. It looks great. It looks like it could very well be the best dive coaster. That zero G roll that has like a little extra twist to it, I think it kind of goes underneath the lift hill. That looks just absolutely nuts. Something and very odd for a dive coaster, but it'll be awesome.
They also the park was very adamant about saying, by the way, there's no mid-course brake run on this. It has to get all the way through it. So you're gonna keep a lot of the speed to start with. So
and it's gonna have 3 trains, I believe.
Yes, that's what they said.
So anyway, so Marcus also added there's theming coming for the ride. It's going to be all throughout the queue. It's going to be immersive. They will not have a locker system. They will have a conveyor belt loose article bin system like Yukon Striker up at Canada's Wonderland, which I haven't seen before, but I know when that came out, it was very, very well received. It makes things work really well. They're hoping to bring it
for Top Thrill too.
Oops.
I don't know.
Could work.
Right.
Could work.
Yeah.
They're hoping to have it open by Memorial Day, which is honestly early as far as Six Flags parks go. I'm still very interested in the race between Siren's Curse and
it's close. I feel like it's so freaking close.
They're neck and neck,
right? Like goodness, because
more cool. Go ahead.
I was going to say, because Tony was talking about how once track starts going up, it's going to go up pretty quick with Siren's Curse, because it's all like low to the ground and small footprint kind of thing, so they don't have to rent like huge cranes, and
they could have one crane sitting on the midway that just takes care of all of it.
Yep. So yeah.
Yeah, which Wrath of Rakshasa is kind of the same, although it's a taller ride. It's a very small footprint.
Right.
So we'll see. So more just cool, fun park updates. And this is one of those things where it's like the Cedar Fair is bleeding into Six Flags to me. So Batman the Ride, which is the original B&M inverted coaster, that's getting a ton of love. They're repairing all the speakers in the station. There's been new thematic effects added. Original sounds and soundtrack are being restored to be played in the station. And it got a new paint job. So that's really cool. I'm trying to make sure I hit everything. More lighting, a new control system as well. That was the other one.
Yeah.
And then moving on from Batman, they hope to have their Roaring Rapids Thunder Canyon ride running again this season. They needed a part. They didn't get it. So they finally did get it. So it should be operating again.
So they actually said that they got the part, but it was the wrong part. And so then they shipped back the wrong part, and then they got the new part. But then it was so late in the season for the water ride that we're like, and so they worked on it in the fall, and I think they're continuing to work on it. But yeah, so.
I think the funniest update, I guess, was their Space Spiral observation decks. They call it Skytrek Tower, was struck by lightning like a bunch
A lot.
last season, and it blew out the motor. So it was standing but not operating for most of the season. Well, how do you think you replace a motor on a sky tower? You bring in a helicopter.
Right. Well, the thing is
they
actually, so I guess what happened was, and I think the sky tower's actually been stuck at the very top. I think. I don't know.
I can see the ride vehicle sitting up there in the pictures he
Um,
posted.
but the but the reason was they had to get the helicopter is I guess they have like some kind of like some kind of system or whatever actually on. I could be wrong, but I think this is what I got from it is there's some kind of like thing on the actual gondola that you can like replace that motor like that. But the problem was, I believe, is they couldn't get it down because the motor was broken. So they had to get the helicopter. So
because obviously you can't lift a giant motor up 200, 300 feet in the air. So again, they hope to have that operating in 2025. So just seeing that, lots of park improvements, they're closing in on their 50th anniversary. If it's not their 50th anniversary, it might be. When did they open?
Don't know. I will actually, you can look that up and I will talk a little bit more. I did see that they are actually adding, and they actually said, they're like, yeah, so we're pulling a little, something from the Cedar Fair chain. And they decided to hire a executive chef, and their very first executive chef at the park. So right there, Evan, you and I definitely totally were like, hey, by the way, food upgrades and things like that are going to happen. And so get rid of the.
They started last year. They added a new barbecue joint.
Yeah, dude, the pictures that I saw from and everything, everyone was like, oh my gosh, they had, what was it? Nacho. They were a big nacho bar and stuff or whatever. And I think it was called Windy City Grill or something.
Yeah, because for whatever reason, I'm in a Facebook fan page for that park. I don't know why that particular park, but I am. I guess it's because it's my Six Flags home park. Anyways, but yeah, they were freaking out all season about Windy City Grill, which is, I believe, the replacement for like JB Smokehouse over in the Southwest Territory. And then Mooseburger Lodge or whatever was back by Goliath. That became like Yukon Barbecue or something like that. And it's very popular and like Cedar Fair quality food, which I know some people will scoff at, but no, Cedar Fair quality food is a good thing.
Yeah.
And I found the answer. They opened in 1976. So they're preparing for their 50th anniversary.
Okay. All right. There you go.
Oh, that makes sense because 1776, 1976, Great America. I know that was a big point in their opening.
But yeah, so we also got to see what's that manufacturer? Oh my goodness, I'm gonna be kicking myself in that they have.
You're gonna lose your Thuzy card.
I really will. Oh my goodness. Hello. It's Whizzer is it's the manufacturer. Yes. Ace played the Schwarzkopf documentary. Things like that. I can't wait for it to get released and stuff.
Like at No Coaster.
Literally, we watched like an hour. I saw the thing. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's an hour and 40 minutes. It went by so quick. It was so good.
If you haven't seen it, they did one for Arrow. Like I think maybe around COVID, maybe right before COVID.
Okay.
It was called The Legacy of Arrow.
I didn't see that.
Phenomenal. Okay. Such a good documentary.
Okay. I think you Ace too?
I think you could watch it on YouTube.
Okay.
Let me find it.
But they also showed off, Marcus was actually in that talking about the Wizard and things like that, and he was actually talking about how when Six Flags Great America wanted to actually get rid of it at one time, and then there was a huge fan uproar and they decided not to do that kind of thing, and it was cool that they backtracked on it and stuff. So
they have did they say when the Legacy of Schwarzkopf documentary will come out?
They did not. They said that they've got a bunch of Ace events and they're trying to keep it like more exclusive for right now. But I thought it was really cool and it was really well done. So
to tide you over, and then since you haven't seen it at all, Carsten, on YouTube, just type in The Legacy of Arrow Development. American Coaster Enthusiast published it in 2016, and it's an hour and 11 minutes long.
Okay.
Phenomenal. I need to rewatch it.
I will have to watch that because I thought that was their only documentary.
Really good documentary.
Okay.
It's really, really good documentary. It more than you ever would have thought about Arrow.
Right.
I mean, we know that they're one of the pioneers ever of
Mhm.
coaster development, but they're incredible stuff.
Good stuff. I love it. But
Yeah. Is that it? Is that all we got?
I don't remember. Did we? I don't think we had
I'm
anything.
looking at Marcus's Twitter. New retail and refreshment stations are being added.
Yeah, they did say that.
CoasterCon will be there. Real CoasterCon, not no CoasterCon. Yes, CoasterCon will be or Six Flags Great America, Indiana Beach, and Little America this year. The front gate area now has a ton of space for people to gather in front of Carousel Columbia. That's word for word from his.
We
from his
did. We did get to hear from Lost Island Amusement Park. If anybody, when listening to our podcast, we had them on a few seasons ago, and they're getting obviously a new RMC single rail coaster there, and they showed pictures and video and stuff and everything of that. They were also talking about like what they're planning on like doing with the park and stuff, and they said that attendance has definitely grown, and they said that they're working currently right now on trying to do like a monorail system, and they just are trying to get like,
oh my god, that would save them
between the water park and the dry park kind of thing.
Their biggest downfall, I feel like, and I'm going to try to be trying to be as respectful to the people of Iowa as I can.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like their GP probably, like, if you take a certain direction to their water park and don't pass the amusement park, the new amusement park, they probably don't even know that amusement park exists, even though it's literally down the road.
Yeah.
And I've heard that their marketing hasn't been great, and
they're ramping up their marketing and things like that and stuff and everything. So
because it's a cool park.
Looks really good. So it sounds like right now possibly the water park might be funding a little bit of the amusement park, but like it sounds like it's not as bad as like what we were hearing in like the first or second season and stuff. So
good. So they're going into what, season 4?
I think so. I think it's season. It might be.
I gotta do more research.
It's either 3 or 4.
I think it's 4.
But
come on.
I do also want to shout out that we got a moment. Definitely appreciate the feedback that we got from having the show that went live last week. They talked about this. People were saying, really love the new intro. I know that was one of the things that we were trying to do, and it just wasn't matching up with any of our calendar workflows and stuff, and Justin was always busy and everything, and Kyle definitely did a bang up job for that, and it just like, I'm not even lying, I'm not lying whatsoever, and it's just the beat. I'm a guy that likes sick beats, all right, and I'll like I won't listen to any lyrics or anything like
cringy.
that. Sorry. Not that sounded weird, but all right. Anyway, so I'll like listen to it. I'm like, okay, cool. Literally, like I literally probably started playing the podcast just listening to the first part of the song and stuff. It's just
20 seconds of music.
It's so exciting. So you might see me.
We said it last week. It gives a nice summery vibe, and just feels like you're like walking.
It's a playful vibe. And I think it definitely matches it. So definitely shout out to everyone, and appreciate all the nice words that we got. And we had a lot of people, and we're working on trying to get the podcast on other places too. Like I think YouTube podcast and stuff like that. I'm trying to get,
which is kind of proving to be a bit of a pain. So
I found a little behind the curtain. They want like an RSS feed link or something or whatever, and I found it. And I'm like, sweet. So I put it in there. Like, nope, that's not it. I'm like, what link do you need? So yeah. But
Lost Island will be 4 years old this year. That's
perfect.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. But yeah, so I do not think we're going to have an episode next week for sure,
unless there's some crazy stuff dropped. Let me look at the calendar.
Yeah. You know what, Evan? Do you want to go real quick through, and a lot of the Cedar Fair parks, or I'm sorry, Six Flags parks announced their opening days per se.
God, if I can find them quickly.
There's a lot. I think Let me take a peek here. I'm gonna see. I thought there was like a really good website that put it on there.
Like who had what opening days announced so far?
And they were like, "Oh, hey, by the way, this day, this day, this day, this day." It's like, "Oh, hey, by the way, since we forgot to mention Go Ohio State, because I know we lost to the team up north, Michigan, but at least we won the championship. Yeah, so I've got the dates. Here we go. So Kings Island is opening up, unless this changes, subject to change. April 19th. Cedar Point's obviously May 3rd. We have Canada's Wonderland May 8th. We also have Six Flags Great Adventure March 29th. We have let's see. I'm just trying to find Six Flags Parks. Worlds of Fun May 3rd. And we also have Dorney Park May 9th. We have Six Flags St. Louis April 5th. Frontier City March 15th. Let's see what else. Valley Fair May 11th. We have Darien Lake May 16th. And then I believe, well, at least that I've seen or whatever, I think the last one I'm forgetting is Six Flags St. Louis, April 5th, at least currently that I'm seeing. Oh, and sorry, California's Great America is opening April 5th as well. So just a little stuff there, so really appreciate, everybody.
We'll probably have one more episode before Winter Chill Out, before I go on my cruise.
Yes.
And then we'll have a extravaganza episode of talking about my cruise, and then also about Winter Chill Out.
We might have to do a two-parter on that. Maybe just do Winter Chill Out 1, and then next week we might do
It'll be interesting to see how much I have to really say about the cruise that's relevant to the podcast, because you
can kind of give
I think I can make it pretty quick, because
spoiler,
we're taking a Royal Caribbean cruise. We're not on one of their big floating amusement park ships. We're literally on their oldest and smallest cruise ship. It's pretty much a bunch of nice restaurants and some pools on a boat, this cruise ship, whereas some of their new ones,
why not dip your toe in there and see if you like the cruise ship and you don't get seasick and whatever, and see.
Well, right. We wanted to do one that didn't have a bunch of little kids on it, which they have cruise ships, Icon of the Seas, Utopia of the Seas, that have literally full blown water parks on them.
Love it.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much I really have to say that is relevant and worth expanding upon for this podcast. But I think I'll probably be able to blow through that trip report pretty quick. But spoiler alert, I'm getting an Alpine coaster credit on the island of Haiti.
Nice.
Yeah, Royal Caribbean owns like a little piece of Haiti, and they have an Alpine coaster there, which is super cool.
So, hopefully it's open that day, because you're talking it all up.
It's 80 and sunny all year there.
Yeah, but maintenance to be like, sorry, it's closed. Like, no, damn it, no.
I'm in the Caribbean. I'm in paradise. I think I'll be all right.
I don't know. You're a little twitchy sometimes. I gotta get that credit.
I'm standing there in my cargo shorts and with glasses strapped, like staring at the coaster, like, excuse me, why isn't that opening?
Excuse me, is this ride going to open today?
God. No.
But yeah, so I don't know. I guess we will talk to you not next week.
Right before that. Before the and then right after.
But really appreciate you guys. Evan, do you want to say goodbye, and then I'll end it?
Yeah, it's kind of hard filling time when there's no Kyle to also say goodbye, but as usual, thanks for listening. Even though it's just us two, we should have Kyle back next time. We'll be back to normal. I'm 100 days as we record. 100 days this year.
100 days, yeah, absolutely. Really appreciate you guys for listening, and make sure you share this podcast with all of your friends. And shout out to California and those crazy wildfires. I know Six Flags Magic Mountain might be under the scope now, so prayers for everybody. Thanks, guys, for listening, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Thanks for tuning in to the Rundown on Fun. Don't forget to follow us on social media for all the latest updates from Six Flags Entertainment. And remember, always be kind to your ride operators. See you soon.